Hello and welcome to the movie graveyard. As always, I am the Goat, joined by a still kind of new part-time movie gravedigger here at the movie graveyard. Everybody, welcome back for her second appearance, Ladybird. Ladybird, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just curious about how to talk about this movie. It's a pretty interesting one.
Well, on your first appearance, you got thrown the curveball of my demon lover, and you still came back for more. So I want to definitely commend you for that. We got another rare and obscure 80s film here. Still pulling a lot of 80s wool here in the graveyard. This one is called Tapeheads, a very obscure, I believe, 1988 film with some big names in it. And we'll get to that in a second. But without further ado, let's go ahead with our sync instructions. We're going to be watching the DVD here in the home theater, rolling with the tiny portable recorder. Hopefully everything goes good as it did last time. So I have it paused. This is, if you do have this movie at home, it's going to be on this Anchor Bay DVD. When you press play on this thing, there's like some weird, has nothing to do with the actual movie, just some shit Anchor Bay put on, some weird like phantasm flying ball stereo, like literally it says Chase digital stereo. You know, it's not Dolby Digital, it's not DTS, it's Chase stereo, whatever the fuck it was. So we got past that. We're paused literally on the 1 second mark on the DVD. There is a studio logo, something called Avenue Pictures, about to come up. If you freeze at literally the 1 second mark, you will see that. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, go. And if you're following along with your own DVD player or whatnot, when I say go, hit play as always. So everybody, here we go. Rolling on Tapeheads. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Everything's rolling. Everything's good. Let's see. Let me get our menu off here. Okay. NBC Productions is the second studio logo. And I have to say, I never knew that NBC had anything to do with making movies.
That's interesting.
But here we go. It almost starts out, the opening shot, it kind of surprised me that it starts with this, because you don't get much of this suburban environment at all, but it's a very Poltergeist-esque, E.T.-esque, Night of the Comet-esque, you know, San Fernando Valley tract home subdivision, very nice, kids playing outside. And then we cut to inside one of the homes. A family is watching some home video movies. And this will really be, if you're one of the younger viewers and you track this movie down, this is really like some old-time shit what they're watching here. Because they're watching like old, scratchy home video thing, like on a projector. But it's like, it's not video, it's like home films. So it's pretty interesting. There's I'm old enough that there were some home films taken of me when I was a baby that are like kind of like this. But it's kind of cool because you don't know anything that's going on in this movie. And, like, this whole opening, like, montage, it kind of makes more sense the more, like, the second time you watch it, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I like the opening of this because it, even with that opening shot of the little neighborhood, like, it really, I'd never seen this before, so when I first saw this opening, I really thought it was going to be kind of like a 50s, like a 1950s influence kind of thing. So, like, the way they opened up on the, like, Pleasantville neighborhood and...
Yeah.
You know, like, the font of the credits, it's, like, really, like, you're gonna watch something from the 50s.
Yeah. And, like, basically...
Oh, here's Catherine Hardwicke.
Yeah, production designer Catherine Hardwicke, lady who would go on to have a big directing career. She's not part of the current wave of woman power directors, but she was doing it long before then. But, yeah, basically... this movie, we just saw the credit, executive producer Michael Nesmith, which that's another reason why I really wanted to see this movie. When I stumbled across it, I was a big fan of Repo Man, the cult movie that Michael Nesmith, for people who don't know, Michael Nesmith is actually Mike from the Monkees.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I was a big Monkees fan, and Mike was actually my favorite monkey when I used to watch the show, you know, as a kid in reruns. But here we have the home movies wrapping up. And basically what this was, and this you saw this a lot in older comedies. Older comedies from like the 80s and 90s, they always be about two best friends, it seemed like, right?
Yeah, we're really missing that now. Just young people, whether it's girls, guys, whatever, just young people and their adventures about their lives. Like, that's really something I think we need more of again.
Yeah. And this is interesting because, we pull out and we see these home movies. This is actually a birthday celebration. And this is a ritual that they do. This mom, this dad, and their son, Tim Robbins, and his best friend, played by John Cusack. They do this every year on Tim Robbins' birthday. They watch all the home movies which showed the kids growing up together. And in there was there's like little parts of like them watching these like black guys on TV, these soul singers, who we later find out are like their heroes and figure it into the plot majorly later on. But Tapeheads is a wacky comedy, but it's funny because like the whole rest of the movie's wacky, but it starts out like really conventionally here. And we see that they're off to their night. They both work as security guards at this like underground kind of, I don't know, scientific complex.
Yeah, they never really say, do they? I don't remember them mentioning like where this is supposed to be taking place.
Well, the thing I like about this is it's definitely meant to be a youth comedy, but it's
now, is that a P test thing?
Yeah, they're bringing in P test tubes. I guess they got to get drug tested, but I like that this isn't. It's not about high school age guys.
Yeah.
It's not about college guys. It's really about guys in their early 20s who haven't found their way in life. And I thought that was like unique about it.
Yeah. I really like how he was so like technically savvy about the cameras and all that.
Yeah. So they go and I guess their supervisor, maybe just a coworker, but this little guy, I'm pretty sure he's a pretty distinctive guy, and I apologize for not knowing this character actor's name, but I'm pretty sure he's like one of the main like kind of comedy relief pirates in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Really?
Yeah, like he has a hat on so you can see, but
he has like a super familiar face.
Yeah, he kind of got like a monkey face. But I'm pretty sure he's one of those guys. There's like two pirate guys that are always fumbling and bumbling in those movies. He's two of them. So at this underground security, and this shit is high tech. It's all concrete and whatever. But Cusack rigged the cameras to be on a loop. And since Tim Robbins had a shitty birthday party at home because his dad's an asshole and kicked them out after they watched the home movie, Cusack, now the hijinks begin. Whatever this is, 5 minutes in the movie, we start getting a real taste of what's to come with the hijinks here. So Cusack rigged the video cameras to just play on a loop, so it looks like all the hallways are clear, but instead he invited all these people to come party at this underground facility security thing, or whatever it is.
What I really like too is that like, what stood out to me about it was like, I totally understood why you liked this movie and why you were drawn to it, because it actually kind of goes into a lot about filmmaking, or at least not filmmaking, but the beginning steps of that you would take to become a filmmaker. Like everybody starts, at the lowest level, and you're making either commercials or music videos back in the day, and like I really liked how they kind of were showing these guys they actually have a lot of knowledge about how to do this stuff. Like it wasn't just like some, and then when they're having the party and stuff, how he's editing the video and adding all this stuff. Like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, like basically what's happens is they're secretly recording all the hallways these people partying, and then like at the security guard station it's kind of like a mix master video editing on the fly type thing. So Tim Robbins is basically just cutting together from all these security views of this crazy party and the music that's playing. And it kind of makes like an impromptu music video. Yeah. And the thing I really like about this is like it's almost like borderline like weird science, where like some of it don't make any sense. Because you'll see people here like you're crashing through brick walls, skateboarding upside down. Just all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, this movie really goes for it. Like, right off the bat, it's letting you know how crazy it's willing to be. But,
and then I thought it was funny, too, how, like, I guess later on when we get to it, but I think at some point the guy actually leaves, the supervisor or whatever he is, actually leaves where they are, that little room there.
Yeah, they showed him, he's in the bathroom.
And he still never runs into this giant party that's going on.
So, clearly, yeah. And it's kind of funny, and Robbins and Cusack there, they kind of see, everybody's hanging upside down. Yeah. Just crazy shit is happening. Like, stuff that's literally physically not possible. You get some great 80s effects here of, video effects of, like, weird shit you would see in music videos. And this movie came out in 88, but I almost feel like a little bit, it's really more of a mid-80s movie, because it really talks, about, really talks a lot about the, the advent of music video and doing these kind of weird videos.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about it, where it just seemed like it was all being very, innovative for the time.
Yeah, it's really like a great time capsule, because it's, for people my age or older who remember like the whole MTV revolution, you really will remember this. And they're like, they don't have MTV in this movie, they have like a fake version of MTV, but it's just really about, the art form of the 80s, and that's what makes it kind of like a quintessential early to mid 80s movie.
Here he goes. He caught him. He busted him doing his stuff.
Yeah, because there was a transgendered person relieving themselves in the bathroom. So
yeah, it's so strange because, like, I mean, this is from '88, and there's like so many things back then that are such like a controversial thing going on now. Like how you mentioned Catherine Hardwicke and how she's a director, and it's kind of like she's been in the industry for such a long time, and like now people like her just barely getting attention, and then the whole transgender thing, like us just watching the movie and seeing the high heels walk into the bathroom, it's such a normal thing to us. Like, we don't care. Like, we're not like, oh, it's weird or whatever, but everybody has such an issue with it now.
Yeah, that was like always a joke in 80s movies about some sexy lady coming into a bathroom and then like using the urinal because she was really a guy. And, like, nobody was as, like, weirded out about that as they are now.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, the only thing, when I first saw it, the only thing that first came to mind was just, people would, that's such an issue now, like, oh my god, there's somebody in the bathroom that's wearing high heels.
Yeah.
It's something only somebody now would freak out about.
Yeah, so they got fired because their supervisor saw the transgender person, using the urinal and figured out there was a party going on. So here they are. And I love that shot there where they're in this bar watching RV TV. That's like the spoof version of MTV in this. And Cusack's talking about the music video that they cut together of the party from the security camera footage. It's actually better than the stuff that's on MTV. And, they could do better. His buddy could do better. And, like, there was one shot where there's, like, a hanging light bulb in the background, like like when Cusack got the idea, the light bulb literally turned on in the background.
Yeah.
And like I kind of like this for being a 1988 movie, how much like old timey screwball comedy they're willing to put into it.
I noticed that too. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm not, like, when I've seen quite a few John Cusack movies, and I've got to say it, this mustache, I could not get with it.
He's got slick back hair. His name's Ivan in the movie. He's got slick back hair. Like, I wouldn't go as far as to call it like a Hitler mustache, but it's definitely like an old-timey 40s type mustache. and he, majority of the movie, he's smoking Black & Milds. And here we meet Cusack, Ivan's father, who's actually Lyle Alzado from the Oakland Raiders, which I thought this was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting cameo.
Yeah, and you don't get much of these guys' home life because pretty soon here they kind of move out on their own. But I thought it was interesting too that Cusack. A lot of times these movies they have like one friend will be from the suburbs, another one would kind of be like lower class, or whatever. Yeah. Whereas this one, they're both really like suburban guys, Yeah. Now we get Clu Gulager in a fake political... Like, this movie's all over it, And, like, the more we get into it, the more I'll kind of get into, how I feel about the movie in terms of the direction of the story and how kind of chaotic it is. But here we have Clu Gulager running for Senate. And it's actually a commercial where there's, like, little kids, like, running around him playing a game, I guess, pocket full of posies. And he's actually putting cigarettes into their mouths. Like, just a lot of subtle, weird shit.
And that's the thing, like, so many people, I guess because right now the ones that are making the most noise about whatever issues are going on now are younger people, but it's like, for people that are even our age, and we're not even that old, like, we've seen a lot of things already, and, like, to see that in a movie now, it's kind of like, what's happening now was like always kind of a spoof back in the day. It's kind
Right,
of like,
right.
oh yeah, this is, you know, it was never really seen like something that could actually happen. It was just kind of a joke, like an exaggerated version of, you know, what we think could happen. But now it's like sometimes you see stuff like that and you're like, oh man, that's actually happening now.
Yeah. It's pretty wild sometimes when you see political satire in films from the 80s.
Yeah.
And how it perfectly lines up with, like, you know, the late 2010s.
What ended up happening, yeah. Like the whole conspiracy from The Simpsons, how like everything, they did all these animated things in the show.
Yeah.
And like now you can match it up with stuff that's actually happening now.
And here we have a scene, and I thought that was an interesting choice. They're showing it at Tim Robbins' house. They got all this really high-tech, heavy-duty video editing equipment because, you know, they're trying to start their own video production company.
Yeah.
And I think that's unique. I mean, obviously that's clearly 80s. It's, you know, like we said, music video inspired at the time. But that's clearly something of the time in terms of, like, you know, we're watching this movie about these two young guys, lifelong friends, and their dream is to start a company that would make music videos, you know, like, it's just a good, unique idea for, you know, a premise or for a comedy or whatnot.
Yeah, that was one of the things that stood out to me, like I was saying about, you know, it's a pretty technical thing. Like, I mean, it sounds fun and everything because it's part of, like, you know, the music industry, but, like, that kind of stuff is pretty technical.
Yeah. And basically, the reason Tim Robbins got thrown out of, you know, where he lived with his parents was he drilled holes in the wall and had to run all the, you know, the heavy-duty electrical stuff. And it was pretty cool because the scene where his parents flip out, I don't know the guy who plays his dad, but his mom was played by Connie Stevens, who was, like, really popular actress from, I guess, the 50s, 60s onward. But, you know, they did it where, like, Robbins was screwing around with a video camera, and, like, they kind of just shot the whole scene from the video camera point of view that he was holding, you know, his parents yelling at him, whatnot. I thought that was interesting for the time. So they kind of, you know, make their way to, I guess, either downtown LA or the outskirts of LA, and they find this loft where there's this kind of crazy young woman there who's an artist making all this weird art. Like, she was blowing shotgun holes in this giant painting she made. And it'll come into play later, but obviously she's a rich kid in this space, you know. So, like, they literally show up and they want to know, like, can we rent this space because we need to play, you know, at least Tim Robbins does, I guess. I'm assuming both of them end up living here, but they need a place to start their video production company.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, sure. And there's like, you know, how much is it a month? She's like, oh, it's free. You know, I own the place or whatever. So again, like, we're going into just the madcap. Like, let's not worry about the realistic details. We're not trying to, you know, turn into some drama.
Oh, here's another cameo.
Yeah, here we have, you know, there's a lot of scenes of, like, weird stuff going on TV. Like, they're really trying to set up how weird the world is. And here we have, like, a very, like, yuppie-ish young Bobcat Goldthwait doing, you know, used to see this all the time, too, in the 80s, one of those get-rich-quick things, just buy my book, but, you know, those infomercials. So, you know, he pops up a couple more times on the TV, but here they have this girl hauling in all their equipment for him while John Cusack just sits on his ass, smoking his black and mild.
I like how he's so, like, businessman-like, you know.
Yeah.
I guess that's why he has his mustache.
Yeah. And, like, he's clearly, like, a young guy in his early 20s, but it's almost like he's kind of doing a impersonation of what he thinks a middle-aged sleazy businessman should be like, you know. Yeah. Whereas Tim Robbins is really just like an eccentric goof. Like, he started out the movie having like a real flattened down kind of bowl cut haircut, but now that he's on his own, like, his hair's gone all crazy and he's almost like a young Einstein type guy.
Yeah. Well, he had to fit the mold of having a professional job.
Yeah, he's almost like, yeah. And now he's almost. And here they see a commercial for Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, which actually is a real restaurant in Los Angeles. And it's this old white guy, Roscoe, I guess. And he's in, like, a chicken suit, just doing a really bland and terrible, you know, come to our chicken, here's the phone number, you know, just real monotone. So Cusack's calling him out for, you know, how kind of shitty his commercials are. And he gets the idea.
He knows he can do better.
Yeah. So, you know, that's a job for their company, which I'm not sure if they, at this point in the story, they named it, but it's called Video Aces. So, literally, you see Cusack picking up the phone, and instead of, like, showing all the scenes of them going and filming the commercial, we just literally cut to what the commercial would be. And the commercial, instead of a 30-second spot, ends up being a 5-minute rap video featuring this old guy, this old white guy with white-ass hair, and then all the kind of soul backup, singers and who are the waitresses. And he does like a good 3.5-minute rap here, and it's really good. And he's got gold chains. One is like a gold pendant of like a waffle with an R in it.
And you know that aspect of it, that like, you know, one scene goes from him calling, and then the next scene is the actual music video without, like you said, without them showing us what happened in between. That's something that is like, you know, I didn't feel the need to see those little aspects of it, you know? Like, that's one thing I think that's really different now in filmmaking today, is that
they over-explain.
Yeah, it's just, they make you sit through every step of something instead of just progressing the story along and, you know, moving on to the next scene or next situation. They sit and they draw... It, like, a lot of comedies now, like, I don't even think they're, like, 90 minutes anymore. I think they're usually, like, 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours, 15 minutes for the madcap hijinks, whatnot.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, because they only show them from the side. Yeah, there's two nerdy guys eating chicken in the music video. Chicken waffles, and their waffles and their chicken comes alive, and it's like stop motion animation. Quick shot of, I think it was Cusack in the background,
yeah, he was.
dancing around, doing the swanky modes, you know, kind of b-boy stance. So here we cut to, you know, the aftermath of they're watching the commercial on TV. It turned out great, but unfortunately, they still don't have any money because Roscoe paid them all in buckets of chicken.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So you know, it's a good story, you know, of them building up their career and whatnot.
But they have some equipment going in the background there, like additional from what they had, it looks like.
Yeah, they have a lot of shit. It's hard to tell what they did with what, because they had like literally 3 giant TV monitors that they brought with them. But
now he's trying to come up with because Tim Robbins' character is unhappy because he actually wants to do music videos.
Yeah, he wants to do something artistic and not chicken commercials or whatnot.
Yeah, and plus it didn't get them any money.
Yeah,
and that's what they're in it for. Well, not just for money, but you know they obviously want.
They need to make a living. Yeah. And like even though they already have a ton of equipment, I think they want more and whatnot.
Yeah.
So here they go to branch out to do more commercials.
Oh my gosh.
It's they go to like record a commercial for this lady who's a pet psychic. She's basically it looks like a dog's collar, and she's acting out, you know, like the dog talking through her.
She's whimpering and making noise.
Yeah, it's just really silly. And here we have Cusack going to all the real life record companies. Here he gives a business card and a videotape reel to a guy he thinks is an executive. I think that's actually Mike Nesmith. Turns out he's talking to like the water guy. Here we have a very quick and bizarre Weird Al Yankovic thing. Yeah, Weird Al pushes Cusack to the ground. It's kind of weird. Here we have Cat Scratch Fever, Ted Nugent. Where he wasn't the conservative political rocker back then. He's got a buckskin thing. Well, I mean, he's still a hunter, but he's got some real crazy hair. He looks like a wild rocker.
He sure doesn't like my people, but he sure wears their styles.
Yeah. But, yeah, here he goes. You know, going to all these different places, running all these people. And I'm not sure who this guy is, if he was a known rapper at the time, but there's like a guy just behind a desk, like, beatboxing all day. It's pretty wild.
I thought this... Oh, here, there's a lot of... I'm sure there's more than one, but there's a lot of different... Brazier and Ass, that's the one that the... whatever lawyer service or whatever it was that was above where he's going.
Yeah, he goes you know, he's made his way to all the big record companies. Nobody gave him the time of day. Now he's going to he's searching out some tiny independent record label in this really fucked up building. Like he gets in a fucked up elevator, keeps going up and down. Finally, he has to crawl his way out of it.
I kept meaning to go back to that though, to that board to see what other secret messages were on it.
Yeah, we should freeze frame it and take a look at it sometime. He literally has to like crawl underneath the ladder to get in this tiny office. And we got the legendary what's this guy's name? I keep wanting to say it's Bernie Casey, but it's not Bernie Casey. It's the real life Don Cornelius. Yeah, Don Cornelius, the guy who hosts Soul Train. And I think he was involved in the music industry somewhat.
It's part of strange.
Yeah, here's another wacky thing, like how you always see bums in movies walking up to people's cars and trying to wipe off their windshields. Well, they're in like this high-rise building, and this bum like is propelling down the side of the building, spitting on the window, trying to get a tip. So I thought this was a pretty well written scene here with Cusack talking to Don Cornelius. Of course, there's a secretary who has like 8-inch fingernails, nasty. But he introduces Cusack, what it means to work on a music video, doing it for spec, meaning no money, meaning you're basically just doing it to build up your reel. But Cornelius, he doesn't even care about seeing the Roscoe commercial or whatever. he just knows he can get these young guys to work for free, so he's all about
like,
it.
You're my kind of guy, or something.
Yeah.
Like, he says something like that
with his smooth voice.
But yeah, I thought it was funny when he picked up the phone and called the secretary that was sitting like 2 feet away
she's in the same room as them. It's pretty wacky. Cusack's looking nice and greasy in this shot. Yeah, this is where he drops the ball on him that he's going to be doing for spec. And Cusack doesn't even know what spec means.
I know. I meant to look that up. Like, I wonder where it comes from.
Well, I always heard the term in terms of movie writing. You make a spec script, meaning nobody pays you to write it. You're just writing a script on yourself to.
But is it like short for something? Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speculation or something?
Well, yeah, I always, thought it meant speculative. But here we have this is our first kind of like legit music video, and it's for a German synthesizer band, and this ridiculous song called Baby Doll, which this song was like really stuck in my head. It's almost like this is like musically it's like a cross between like Devo and like Flock of Seagulls. There's these 3 guys, like the singer guy is like all hunky with this giant mullet. And they're doing this one-take music video in front of a white curtain. And these guys are singing and dancing around, bopping around in their designer clothes and whatnot. And like I said, it's one-take music video, so like they have all these like gimmicks where like Tim Robbins has to like run around to the like the scaffolding, as this one-take music video is going on. And like here is like he just starts dumping paint on the guys as they're playing their song. Like,
yeah, I was wondering, like, was that like originally part of their like idea for the video? Because I was kind of like, it went so far. Like by the end, I was like, was that always originally what was planned? Like, it just seemed so strange.
I mean, I think it was because they had all the shit set up, and like the guys are like kind of like. I don't know. The feeling I get is like the guys in the band didn't really know what's going to go on, but Cusack and Robbins had this plan, and now they're all doused in different color paint, and now Cusack's going to turn on this giant fan, and rip open pillows and shoot feathers onto them. So it's basically like these German prog rockers or whatever are going to get like dumped. Cusack's also dumping glitter on it. It's kind of like a cool idea for a music video.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like I thought the paint thing was kind of cool because like they had a white background, but then when they started doing the feathers, I was just kind of like, what's
now
going
they're
on
shooting
here?
off fireworks everywhere to the point where like the guys are like getting sparks in their faces and shit. It's obvious.
But they're still going.
But yeah, they're still going. I mean, the lead singer is singing away and dancing, showing his biceps and whatnot. Eventually, Cusack has to hit him with a fire hose, and now all their keyboards are destroyed. And I don't know, it's pretty funny. And Cornelius's reaction is kind of like, this really, wasn't what we wanted. You got to do more. You got to have. He tells him like you need more production value. And by that, he means you got to have tits and ass, because, just these guys, playing and being hunky and having paint and shit thrown on them, it's
but
not
like,
doing it.
I was kind of surprised, because, like, the way Tim Robbins is, like, upset after the chicken and waffles thing, like how he's like, oh, I really want to make real music videos, and then he gets this opportunity to make one, but then he like made a mockery out of it. I was kind of like, do you want to do music videos or not? Like, I didn't understand that.
Well, I think he just had a I don't know, like
I mean, I know it's not his kind of music and stuff, but still, like.
But I think he just was trying to make it as artistic as possible with no budget. And he just kind of got off on like a bizarre idea of what to do.
They just did with what they had.
Yeah. So here they are feeling kind of dejected. But he tells them, like, I want you to do more videos for me. Just more...
On spec.
On spec. Everything ends with on spec.
What is she wearing in her hair?
Yeah, she has, like...
they look like wires.
They are. She has, like, electrical wires. So
here's one of their jobs.
Yeah, another one of their crappy day jobs is they have to go to a hospital where an old man's dying, like, literally dying in a hospital bed. And, give his last will and testament. And then, like, they got cue cards for him to read, everything. It's pretty wacky. I mean, this movie is pretty, like, bizarre and satirical.
Oh, but, like, he's dying, and, like, they're telling him, read it with more emotion. And it's like, well, the dude is dying.
Tim Robbins is trying to direct it because he's just an old, kind of frail old man.
Say it like you mean it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he doesn't... he needs to just say what he needs to say.
There's in the background of the TV is Bobcat's on TV again, pushing his quick schemes.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. He's on breathing machines, everything.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins was telling me, like, this isn't good enough. You really gotta do a great job. So, of course, what's going to happen here in a second is he tries to give it performance, so, sucking on his action. He's trying to get hyped up to do this great performance. Merlin Hinkle is his name. He's trying to read his will and testament. Cusack screaming at him to get it right. He's tired of doing takes. Which is just ridiculous, because they really just, whatever the guy said would have been good enough.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
he's yelling it.
Yeah, he's trying to act it out. Robin's telling him more energy, more energy. Now, obviously, you can guess what's going to happen. This poor old man's going to have a heart attack or whatever, and he's going to pass away. Yep, there he goes. And like they're just trying to keep it going. They don't even realize he's dying.
And then I think they're still like, no, don't die. We need to get paid.
Yeah. So they do this insulting thing here where I think they put sunglasses on them, and they kind of this is kind of like a forebear to Weekend at Bernie's. They puppeted him, they do a close up. They puppet him, with his mouth, and they dub in their voice.
It looks like Jack Nicholson.
It does. It kind of looks like Rip Torn as well. They puppet, gotta pay Video Aces, whatever, So
my favorite video production company, I think he makes them say.
Yeah. Cusack is doing the puppeting here. So insulting.
Poor guy.
Yeah. But that just shows you how crazy this movie is.
And then, I like how, no doctors or anything ever come in, when he dies.
Yeah, when he flatlined, nobody came running in.
There's also an ongoing theme throughout this movie. When they first were going over to that new place they were going to live at, the warehouse, he had one parking ticket.
Yeah.
And now, in this scene, you can see he has two.
Yeah, the parking tickets just keep piling up on his, under his windshield wiper.
But that's what I mean. I like how movies were made back in the day, and that, there's little details like that, you know? And it's, it adds a little bit to the story, because obviously they don't have money to pay for those,
Yeah. So they go to this mansion to videotape, a party or whatever. They accidentally walk in on an old man and, some woman who's kind of like a dominatrix, but I don't know, it's just more like a weird sexual woman. And, this old man dressed in a ballerina outfit, acting weird shit out. Now we meet the lady who hired him. It's actually the lady who plays the mom on that TV show Arrested Development. And here we figure out that the old man dressed in like the ballerina outfit was actually Clu Gulager, the guy who's running for Senate. He's having a conversation with his like dominatrix or whoever she is that he does weird shit with. And she kind of intimates that, you know, like, hey, if you try to fuck with me or do whatever, I could always let your secret out of how kinky and weird you are and shit.
That dress she was wearing was so crazy.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Some dwarfs, playing limbo. So they're kind of videotaping the party, and they bump into some people, and Cusack, he's trying to network. He meets this lady, who I think is a reporter with, I can't remember if it was Rolling Stone or Billboard or what, but some type of music industry magazine.
This kind of surprised me too, because I don't think I ever saw Cusack be so, like fondling of anyone before.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like he bumped into her and she lost her contact,
yeah.
So he used it as an excuse to basically grope her up.
Yeah, like I've never seen that of him before in any of the movies he's done.
Yeah, now Clu Gulager, he's tired of this lady, making blackmail threats. So like he really this movie kind of starts going into a little bit of weird, bizarre drama here. It's almost like, I don't know, kind of borderline Twin Peaks-esque.
What is this guy doing?
But,
Duh.
Basically, the Secret Service is here. And that one Secret Service guy who's breaking the camera, he's, like, real familiar. Like, I think he was on a bunch of sitcoms in the early 90s. But I don't know his name.
I don't recognize him.
So they're throwing out the journalists for secretly taking photos. And then in the back somewhere, Clu Gulager is threatening his mistress, and she's going to break out, and there's going to be a little bit of a chase here in a second.
There were a lot of actors in this movie, whether they were in the background or anybody they interacted with, that I felt like I recognized.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of name people in it. But it's just funny, just like my background with how I came to this movie, is I never knew this movie existed at all. Like, I don't, all the video store days or whatever, I don't remember it coming out in theaters. I don't know if it was a big release or not. It might have been just one of these movies that played for a week and was gone out of theaters.
Yeah.
But I know pretty much a lot of from reading the background materials, a lot of the promotion got actually scrapped.
Wow. Because
Robbins and Cusack were actually acting like such goofballs. NBC tried to help promote the movie by having them go on the morning show, and they showed up, I don't know if they were drunk or what, but they showed up being up all night, and they acted so goofy that they didn't give a coherent interview, so they didn't end up airing on TV or whatever. And so I think it was one of those things where what promotion they did do was just all either like that, where they didn't really promote the movie, as the actors, because they were young guys and they didn't know what they were doing. And at this point in time, Cusack had, he done all the kind of extra parts in the Hughes movies, and he made a couple things like Better Off Dead. But I think Tim Robbins was really unknown. I think the only movie he really did was that really low grade teen comedy Fraternity Vacation, which wasn't a huge hit or anything.
Here's all the scenes of what he was asking for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, here they are. They're turning in their music video to Don Cornelius, and literally the entire video. It's just somebody's song playing, and it's literally just cut. They went out on the beach and filmed close up of girls' butts and breasts. Put in a couple shots of monkeys going crazy, literally, and that was it. Don Cornelius loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, not too long ago. I've had a Twitter account for a really long time, but I never ever used it because I was always about Facebook. But recently I kind of started using my Twitter account again, and I didn't remember, but I had actually started following John Cusack when I first got my Twitter.
Yeah.
And so I've been seeing a lot of the stuff that he posts, and he's a really interesting guy, and I gotta say, I love how he's so, out and about with, whatever his views are and all that about things.
Yeah.
But, every once in a while, people do talk to him about his movies and his career and stuff, and He actually mentioned on there that they've done, like, him and Tim Robbins have done a lot of movies together.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by that because I'd never noticed that. Like, I know I've seen some of the movies, but I don't know, it just didn't occur to me that there were that many. And I was like, wow,
Yeah,
I was like, that's interesting.
I didn't realize they were such good friends, but apparently they were. And, yeah, so, I mean, I didn't know about this movie really at all. Like, literally at all. I never even heard of it. Or realized that Cusack and Robbins did a movie together when they were so young.
Yeah.
And then I want to say it was like the real early 2000s, like maybe like 2002. I was going through a Kmart. It was like me and a buddy I worked with at a video store. We would just go around and buy DVDs, and we were at Kmart looking for shit. And like literally the $5 bin, I found this movie, and the cover is crazy, and it's just really insane. Look up the movie poster for Tapeheads. So it caught my eye, and I started reading about it. I was like, how is there a movie with these two guys that I never heard of it? And I watched it, and it's just this bizarre kind of mixed bag of, you know, like the plot going every which way. But, of course, I was drawn to it, not just because they were in it, but just because of what it was about.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty interesting, you know, comedy concept. And I like that it didn't, even though they were young and they could have done it, I like that it didn't fall on the lazy traps of it being, like I said, either a high school or college comedy. It's just really about young guys, you know?
Yeah. So they showed Tim Robbins and the girl talking, and it kind of seems like they're striking up a relationship of some sort. And I thought this part, like, this whole concept of these two guys being into that singing group they're into, like, I don't know, I thought it was so unique because I was just like, why are these guys into that? Like, and they're so into it that they're like dancing and
they're dancing on the rooftop,
dance moves together, like
playing
they got a
the
routine
song.
going.
And like they got the moves down and stuff, and that's another thing. It will come into play here. We cut to literally now. It's daylight is breaking. You know, dawn is breaking. They're still on this rooftop dancing to this, you know, this old soul group called the Swanky Modes. Who we never at this point we never saw like them full on or anything. We just see little clips of like, you know, like in the the very beginning of the movie. Yeah. The montage and stuff.
So they pretty much were just. Cusack was up there dancing, listening to the music because they're kind of in a low point right now with their business, their production company, that they can't seem to catch a break.
Yeah, they're kind of a funk.
Yeah.
And you know, they get like through weird circumstances. Like writing this script must have been a nightmare for the person who wrote it. But here we have that journalist I was talking about earlier. She's on the set of a music video of a hair metal. Like, you know, kind of shocker, you know, type of rock group. And it's
shock rock.
Yeah, shock rock. But it's like hair metal, but it's more like the darker hair. It's not like the really like pussified, you know, like these guys are really trying to be tough in their spandex and shit.
I like his jacket that he made.
Yeah, Video Aces. But it's kind of funny. So here they are on the set of a real music video. Something happened that the singer ran the director off. So, you know, the music journalist who was there, she recommends the Video Aces. So here they come in. Tim Robbins is flying around the crane. Cusack is going to try and, you know, fucking Cusack always being the, you know, whore that he is. He puts on it's like a dungeon pile of skulls. This music video set. He installs a Miller Lite neon thing because that's his sponsor.
Product placement.
Yeah, the fake band is called Blender Children. The set is basically these two giant skulls with girls chained up in the mouths of the skulls. It's very. I wouldn't go as far as to call it satanic, but it's just that heavy metal, like,
it's
you know.
Perfectly normal for us. We've seen this before.
Yeah. This singer guy, I didn't look him up who he was. I'm sure he's probably some type of real musician, but he's a pretty freaky guy.
He does look like those guys from back then.
Yeah. And, like, girls are, like, walking and falling into the top of the set, which is kind of like some kind of weird purgatory hell type thing.
Well, in Cusack here, he's trying to put up a front that he knows what he's doing, but he really doesn't know how to work that machine.
Yeah. Like there's no, like, crew. It's just literally Robbins up on a crane, filming it himself, and then Cusack trying to drive it. It's like, you know, the crane is attached to a little car. Yeah. And you get all the shock rock antics here, the guy going nuts.
That flame looked like it was so close to him, to Tim Robbins. Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're just weird stuff. More weird against the law of physics stuff is starting to go on in this music video.
So here, he can't stop it from going.
Yeah.
But I can't tell if it's because he doesn't know how to use it, or on this part, or if it's because the thing is malfunctioning.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of like, doing it fine. I think he doesn't know what he's doing. And it's just hard to control. It looked like it was just hard to control anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, they literally almost killed the lead singer. They almost run him over. They bash this giant crane into the set. Everything kind of gets broken and screwed up.
All the girls are running out.
Yeah.
And now they want him. They want to be all over him.
Yeah. They're giving Cusack their headshots and stuff. So hopefully he can get them in more music videos.
Oh my gosh.
Tim Robbins is hanging off the crane. Here we cut to a weird thing, just to show how offbeat this movie really is. Now here we have Fishbone playing a weird fictional version of their song. So I can't remember what they call themselves, Ranch Bone or something. They're dressed in cowboy outfits.
Yeah.
And if you know how kind of funky Fishbone music is, and they're playing some weird spoof fake country song.
I thought Fishbone was a swing band, that kind of jazzy swing.
They're kind of they were kind of like a punk.
Really?
Yeah, they're kind of like a punk, kind of, I don't know how to describe them. They're like a punk kind of fusion band with jazz and just other things, and maybe a little tiny bit of ska, just that weird genre that's hard to define.
So here's the introduction of the band.
Yeah, the Swanky Modes, who always get this screwed up, but the Swanky Modes are played by this is like an open mic night type thing.
Yeah.
And they're there to audition. Swanky Modes are, and they're played by Junior Walker and Sam Moore, two soul legends.
Real soul legends in real life.
Yeah. They didn't just get fake actors or whatever. So Cusack and Robbins, they always hang out at this dive bar. They realize the Swanky Modes are there. And they start going crazy, we gotta approach them, we gotta talk to them, But this is after the music video went wrong and everything. So they're there, Robbins and Cusack, they're kind of drunk now, so they're obviously not in their best frame of mind.
They're down in the dumps.
Yeah, and they have the Swanky Modes kind of wearing outdated 70s clothing, I'd say.
Well, even them two, once Cusack and Robbins start talking to them, they kind of have the attitude of no, we're washed up, nobody wants us. They kind of are not even into their own gimmick.
Yeah. The bartender.
I like this part. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Basically, the Swanky Modes get up and leave before Robbins and Cusack can approach them. But the bartender makes them close their eyes and do the alphabet backwards in sign language. Yeah. And when they open their eyes, the Swanky Modes are gone. And they can't believe, they missed their chance to meet their idols, these legendary soul singer guys. And it's just more shit luck for them.
I thought that was so funny that they actually did that part.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had their eyes closed. It looked like, but I was wondering if they had something on the bar that they were kind of had their eyes open a little bit, to see it backwards.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that with that sign language. Here we have the breaking news that band that they kind of half-assed did the video for, that rock metal band, the Blender Children, they got killed. They were going to do a concert somewhere, and a satellite came down and out of space. And that was actually, it seems ridiculous, but that was a thing. Because whenever we first started shooting satellites up into space, there was this idea in the 80s of space junk always coming down to re-enter the Earth and wreak havoc. So we're starting to get more into the overall dramatic whatever plot of this comedy movie. And basically, we're at that incidental scene earlier where they're filming that birthday party at that senator's house. The weird sex prostitute lady slipped in the tape into Cusack's bag. He didn't know it. And the tape basically has, the blackmail of the senator dressed as a ballerina and doing all that weird sexual shit.
And the journalist lady, she works for, like music magazine or whatever, but she actually wants to be a serious, real journalist. Yeah. So that's why she's trying to find a big story.
Yeah, like she kind of knows like what's going on and wants to expose the center. It seems like
this part was a real like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's out of nowhere. The girl who owns the loft, she sees the journalist lady there rifling through tapes, trying to steal shit.
Oh my god!
Trying to steal the blackmail tape or whatever. So now her and the girl have like basically like a martial arts fight. The journalist
it's a showdown, and she brings out her butterfly knives.
Yeah, the journalist pulls out nunchucks and puts on the display. The other girl, like literally, she's in her pajamas and slippers. She
long johns and her elf slippers.
She's got butterfly knives poked into her, tucked into her slippers there. Here the guys come back and realize what's going on. Put it into it.
Tim Robbins surprised.
Yeah. Here they find out the news that the Blender children have, perished. And the fake MTV RV TV, whatever it is. They want the video ASAP, to cash in on these dead guys. So Cusack tries to, take the footage that they do have. And here's all this shit about mixed up tapes or whatever.
I thought it was really cool how this came out.
Yeah. So basically what happens is Cusack screws up. There's all these multiple tapes, and he's trying to tape over some old tape they had. But here we see transfer audio only. Yeah. So basically what ends up happening here is the footage from
the music
video, like the actual video of it doesn't transfer over.
Yeah.
Just the audio of the song does.
Yeah.
And he accidentally records the audio of this rock song over the footage of the funeral of the old man that died.
Yeah.
So it's like this black and white footage that they had of like grave diggers and everybody crying. But it syncs up somehow perfectly
with the song.
So it looks like they performed this, even though they just filmed a real funeral. Yeah. It looks like they filmed this atmospheric, cinematic, serious
rock and roll 80s video.
Yeah. Like it's so, and when you actually watch it, like when they say, and like they're here in they run down there with the tape, and MTV or fake MTV puts it on. And, like, they're watching it for the first time themselves, and they realize the mistake that happened, but it actually turns out being a good video,
It was, like, it reminds me of, like, I think it's, like, what is it, November Rain by Guns N' Roses or something?
It's pretty much exactly like a black and white version of November Rain. Like, almost to the point that maybe Guns N' Roses ripped this off. I mean, who really knows, you know what I mean? But the
cool,
yeah, and like it's like this funeral, and then like literally there's a shot of the sun being blotted out because it starts like storming and raining, and that's when the song kicks in kind of high gear. It really is good. Yeah. Now here we have actually the RV TV host is actually Martha Quinn, who was one of the original, I think 4 or 5 hosts on the real MTV.
Oh wow!
So again, it kind of they're kind of spoofing the culture and the genre at the time, but. They're kind of going out of their way and, doing it. Well, I never noticed that. Like, back in they're back in the artist loft here. And there was, back in the TV in the background was, I don't know if it was commercial or what, but for the senator.
Yeah.
And they're kind of in, like, the little corner of the place where the girl lives. That's kind of interesting foreshadowing, but...
What is her painting she's doing?
It was like somebody bending over with their ass showing.
It looked like somebody going to the bathroom.
Yeah, it actually did. Now here we have Cusack trying to...
No.
Yeah. He's at this hip restaurant, whatever, nightclub. He's trying to woo this journalist lady. Like, it seems like he thinks he's in the big time, so he has to have a big time woman. And yeah, they have like candles at the thing, and really weird setup. It's like a punch bowl with candles in it. I don't know what it is.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, his arm caught on fire for a second there, and that was Cusack really, his arm really was on fire. They did it all in the take. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm so not used to him being like this. It's
yeah.
so strange.
It's really kind of sleazy and pervy, Like, not in a real, like, nasty way, but it's just
strange for him.
Yeah. And here he goes.
Oh, no.
He's talking. He picks up the candle and takes a big drink of candle wax there.
Ugh.
That makes you cringe every time you see it.
I know. But yeah, I mean, I guess, like, his character was supposed to be sleazy like that, but I don't know. Like, it was hard for me to watch him like that when we watched the movie.
Yeah.
I like him to be babyface and sweet all the time.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because that's why I thought maybe this would, and I just kind of wanted to always talk about this movie, and since I feel like not a lot of people have done it, for podcasts or whatever, but
this part too.
Yeah, now they're like almost in a horror movie. Him and this lady are in this graveyard, like her kinky thing, like she strips down, and she's literally in all this lingerie and stuff in this graveyard. But I thought this would be a good movie, maybe for you and I to talk about, just because, like, I always thought it interesting when I first met you to find out you're a pretty big John Cusack fan. You have a lot of his movies on DVD and whatnot. Yeah. And I thought this would be a good one, just because it's so unusual. Yeah. And like you and I'm pretty sure, didn't we watch Better Off Dead a few years back?
Shoot, I can't remember.
The one where he was like skiing and stuff.
I feel like he skis in a lot of them.
Yeah. But, yeah, Cusack just got a blowjob, basically set up. He got a blowjob. I
can't see that. My virgin eyes.
Yeah. No, but I was just surprised about it. And we saw The Raven when that came out. Yeah. I just bought the Blu-ray a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So, yeah, I was just always been in the Cusack. I'm also a big fan of Grosse Pointe Blank, but I was surprised to find out you were a fan of him too. I thought that was pretty interesting. But kind of what got you? I'm curious. Like, do you remember the time period or what movie or what that got you on the John Cusack train?
Honestly, I know it's one of the. I mean, not that late at this point, but the one that really got me was High Fidelity. Mm. And then, like, I guess from that point, I kind of was like, learning more about him, and I realized he was all about like the whole like 80s teen movie thing. So I was like, oh, and then I got into that, and like I kind of like, I know he was in, you said, some John Hughes ones.
Yeah, but like tiny roles.
Background characters.
Like he was in 16 Candles. He was like one of the sidekicks to Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, but I always liked the ones where he was the star in them. Like, yeah. And then I ended up seeing some of those, and I was like, oh, look, he's, like, not even anybody in those movies. And yeah. It was just interesting. I kind of went backwards, like, from High Fidelity, and then I went backwards, and then on to, like, whatever he made after that. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just that thing of, like, I know he was never, well, I mean, I guess he kind of was. That's why I was into him. He was kind of clean and, he went through, a lot of his movies were all about, his love stories and, that kind of stuff. But it wasn't, like, super cheesy. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a genre movie that existed that doesn't anymore. And it was for teenagers and it was for young people. And it was kind of like just situations of relationships or, a person going through the trials and tribulations of growing into adulthood or whatever. And it's like, I just appreciated that because, I mean, obviously at the time I was either about to go into that stage in my life or, I knew I was eventually going to be there. And it's just fun to see people going through that kind of stuff. Yeah. And sometimes it's serious and sometimes it's not. Because some of those comedies and the rom-coms that he did, there were some moments in those that would get kind of serious, and I'm like, oh, shoot, that's what I mean. Like, it was just a mixture of, like, yeah, it was fun and zany, but then there was also, he was dealing with stuff that, we really dealt with when we were younger, and I just appreciated that about him. And it wasn't, like, super raunchy. Sometimes it was, but, it just wasn't always the same thing, like...
It wasn't always, just formula.
Yeah, it was him. It was usually about him and a girl, but I don't know. I just kind of felt like everything was different somehow, like in each one. So, and then I think High Fidelity, like I could relate to that. By the time I saw it, I was already a little bit older, but I could totally relate to like, the whole thing of your exes and like why did they break up with you and all that stuff. So it just totally hit home, and then I just started looking into him more after that, and just learning more about him and what he did, and realizing that there's his sister too.
Right, Joan.
Yeah, and like I just that whole idea was just, I don't know. It was a thing back then, you know, like just like the Baldwins. It's like, and the Shanes, and like I don't know.
Yeah. Different breed of actor that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
Especially with Cusack. I mean, I got into Cusack. I remember for sure the first movie that, like, I knew of him, you know, and I loved was Better Off Dead. I remember the commercials for it were so wacky on TV, and I think I got my mom to take me to see it, and I loved it. That and Once Bitten, which had a real young Jim Carrey in it, were like my favorite comedies as a kid.
Well, see, like, in this scene where, like, they're finally getting to meet the guys that they like. But look, the way he's reacting, he's so, like, yes, you know, like, so cool. Like, I mean, how many times when we see a band that we like, we're like, yes, like, there's just so many relatable things in the movies that he does that I'm just, like, it, like, just you can relate to it as a young person. I mean, even now, obviously, but it's just, I don't know. They're relatable, and that's why I appreciate him.
Yeah, and I think what's really great about Cusack in terms of, like, I think now he's great because he's a seasoned, you know.
Yeah, now veteran. He's an adult and he takes on serious roles.
And he's willing to be in weird stuff. But I mean, when he was young, I think he was great because even though and I never knew this for a long time, but he actually has studied like kickboxing, taekwondo for a very long time, and they kind of worked that a little bit, I think, into Say Anything, but
Well, didn't they put... I want to say the one that he did about Brian Wilson. Didn't they kind of do something with that in there?
I think maybe a little bit. That was another great one when he played Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
But I think what was great when he was younger was he wasn't quite the nerd and he wasn't quite like the jock guy. He really was versatile, and he could play both sides of, you know, just a lot of things. He just, you know, his characters are very relatable, like, not in a generic pre-programmed shitty way, but he very much was like an everyman, but like legit, you know.
Yeah. Or I think it was Mapped to the Stars. Didn't he play some sort of like...
I think they showed him, you know, doing whatever.
Yeah, I think
kickboxing. I really like Mapped to the Stars as well. Yeah. It's actually a kind of movie I kind of want to see again, even though a lot of people didn't, you know, give it good reviews or whatever. But yeah, so here they got to meet the Swanky Modes. They're so, you know...
No, there's the big giant pile of
more parking tickets. So yeah...
And their cup holders on their car.
Yeah, they got cup holders on the outside of their car, so they're driving down the street and they're just reaching outside and pulling beers into the car. Oh. I still kind of think they're pulling them like out of thin air, but I mean, whatever. But yeah, they're on top of the world because that accidental music video they made of the, you know, the funeral or whatever, won them all these music video awards. So they just offered the, you know, they met the Swanky Modes. They totally geeked out. They offered to, you know, make them relevant again, basically, make a video, do something for them. You know, they're on top of the world. Meanwhile, the Swanky Modes just threw the card away and just kind of, you know. So now we're getting into the Secret Service guys. They're looking for the blackmail tape that they know the video aces have, you know.
They haven't... Oh, they did do the award show already, right? That's why they're all dressed up.
Yeah, it was basically really, they really never showed the award show. They kind of just showed them in the limo going to it. But,
I got carried away in talking about the awesomeness of John Cusack.
There was a weird gag there where the girl had a pencil stuck to her head. But yeah, they actually have a security system in their loft.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, where it basically has projection screens everywhere where it's a cop, like if you cross a laser beam that's like a tripwire, the cop yells at you and shoots you. So these Secret Service agent guys are actually shooting like the projection screens and stuff. So the video aces come home. They're like, how are you guys? And these Secret Service guys, they make up this lame excuse that they're in a band and they need a music video. So there's going to be some hijinks kind of following with that.
I was curious how they did that security video, because, like, how did the cop in the video know to stop being like, stop or I'm going to shoot? Know, I was curious about that.
Well, you know what that reminded me of? This is just like a weird thing. There was a thing where you could just, it was free. Like, you could walk up at a mall I was at. I mean, this was years later. It was probably like the mid-90s, maybe late 90s, where the police had this training thing where it was like that. It was a big screen, and they gave you like a gun that was like basically like a video game light gun, but it was like life size. The screen was, you know, maybe 6 feet high by 10 feet wide, and like they had it running. DVD didn't exist, and so it had to be off a laser disc. Yeah. But they played the thing of like if a guy came out and tried to shoot at you and you had to shoot him, but it was like impossible to really shoot him, and then it's just like, oh, you know, you got killed or whatever. And it was weird. It was like I'll never forget this. It was at a mall, and like the police had taken over like an empty storefront, and they installed that, and you could just walk up and talk to a police officer, and like they let you try it out. I mean, I think I want to say my buddy Bobby was with me. But yeah, it was really strange and bizarre. But that's what it reminded. It looked almost just like that, but the screen was like way bigger.
Yeah. Oh, here they go. Now they're finally gonna.
Tim Robbins, I'd say basically because he has self-confidence now.
Yeah.
And plus, you know, him and that girl were digging each other already. Yeah. So now they're gonna get down to it and bone. Cusack comes in and see the two bone in there.
And they don't even care.
No.
Oh. Party time.
Yeah, Cusack's bringing a party in.
Oh my god.
And like literally a party goes on all around them as they're boning in this bed.
Stop saying that.
I guess they're what?
It sounds funny.
Yeah. And it's actually, this is like the Calypso band that was at that party with the senator's house.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing like a conga line.
Even the cop. See, like, it's like he's live. How does he know what's going on?
Well, it's just Video Aces. I love this too, where it's kind of like the next morning, even though it's kind of hard to tell what's going on, but Robin's mom and dad, they come and there's like, they walk into the loft and like there's this really nice, it looks like you're walking into a real expensive office, but it turns out it's just literally a fake wall, and they walk inside and they see the shitty loft. And you see on the back of the facade it says "Rent a Facade."
I gotta say, those sculptures were pretty awesome.
Yeah, Robin. I wonder, somebody's got to have those things.
Yes.
If not them, if they didn't. So here I thought this was funny. Here they come in and they see, you know, their nerdy son Tim Robbins. He's in a bubble bath with a girl, and they storm out. The dad is so angry. It's just like, you know, their son is throwing his life away. He's got a successful career as a music video director. This is a great gag. The parents drive away in a white station wagon. There's a very subtle jump cut to then the Secret Service guys pulling up in the exact same white station wagon.
I wonder why they did that cut. They didn't need to.
Well, the reason they did the cut was because I think it was the same car. I don't think they didn't have two cars. You know, they just kind of pulled the trick.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
This whole mix-up, too, I think it's so clever, like...
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you suspend your...
disbelief.
Your reality, yeah.
What's with those donuts, like, crumbling?
So, and I just like how these guys are just going along with it, like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing they're trying to do the music video for the Secret Service guys, their fake band. But, you know, and they kind of give them the guise of that, like, we're going to give you all this money for... you know, to shoot this music video or whatever. But meanwhile, there's more Secret Service guys crawling in the windows trying to find that tape. Everybody's trying to find that tape.
But they never said they were musicians. I think just Cusack assumed.
Yeah. But these guys started making up this, like, fake song here. And they're both nerdy guys. But, like, the one guy's, like, really into it. He really wants to be, like, a legit singer and all that.
That's funny.
Yeah. And they're watching in the background as the other guys, like, rifle through all this shit. But Robbins and Cusack are just recording their video and, you know, not paying attention.
Well, because all the guys are fighting for the video, because I think it was the senator guy, right, that said whoever hands
gets it, yeah.
He didn't just say gets it first, he said whoever hands me the video is going to get whatever
money or
whatever. So now they are fighting each other for it.
Yeah, literally fighting for it. These guys are these Secret Service guys that are dancing. They're just such lame white guys.
He's like, no.
Yeah, they're dancing and shit. Yeah, the one guy pops up. It's so cartoonish.
I know. Whoa.
No, they're all still fighting.
He was biting him for that.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden they want to be better.
Are those hot dogs?
Yeah.
That's funny.
The center's given, I guess, a lecture to the National High School Conference of Journalists. So just all these young kids reporting on his bullshit or whatever.
And he gives like a real weird answer too.
Yeah. Klug Gallagher is a great actor, and I mean he's still around, but I think he's just retired from acting now pretty much. But like I don't know, he had a great run of 80s movies. Like he worked nonstop, and they're all low budget movies like this, so obviously I'm assuming he probably got paid dick for them, but I think he's kind of underrated. Like there's just so many movies, like, this, the second Freddy movie he played the dad in, he was really good in. He's really classic in Return of the Living Dead. There's just a bunch.
I think their boss that was at the security office that became their driver, is that Lee Ehrenberg?
Yeah, that guy. He plays, like I was saying, he was in, he kind of, I have to look at his credits here. He might have been in one of the Police Academy movies too, but I could be wrong.
And then the dad, he always reminded me of
Yeah.
somebody, but I can't. Oh, he plays Tim Robbins' dad, right?
Yeah.
Doug McClure. Isn't that
Yeah.
the guy that they always have on like The Simpsons that does that voice?
I think it's like Troy McClure or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of looks like him, like how he looked when he was younger.
Yeah.
He looks like
does.
the Troy McClure.
And that's just what's interesting about this movie was they got a lot of people, from the past,
Yeah.
like the musician guys, and Klug Gallagher, Connie Stevens. Yeah, the Lee Ehrenberg guy, he's been in like 200 different things, a lot of,
It's so
small
cool
things.
how like whenever these guys come into the scene, how much like Tim Robbins and John Cusack are so like they look starstruck. They look genuinely
Yeah.
starstruck.
Well, I'm sure it's because of who the guys were in.
I mean, they're-
legit,
yeah.
really. They are legit legends,
Yeah.
outside of this,
Yeah, I know.
whatever.
But
But
just
yeah.
like cool, like you can tell it, you can see it on his face.
So here all the Secret Service guys are now coming back because they realized they thought they had the tape because they were told, it was in a red cassette box, but the tapes got all mixed up at one point in time, so the tape is really somewhere else. So here they all come and like they're just tired of fucking around because this scandal could ruin the senator or whatever. So they all come up like now they all come like guns ablazing with rifles and handguns and whatever.
It's so funny because my mom, like when I was little, she always had a Plymouth Reliant.
Really?
She had a little burgundy one, yeah. And so, like, seeing those on here and, like, they're being driven by these secret agent guys, it looks funny to me. Oh, they can't have them because they blew it up.
Oh, yeah, they blew up, at least Cusack's statue got hit by a bullet and exploded. So, they still don't, like, get what's going on. They think they just want the money back.
Yeah.
So, they give the money to the swanky modes. They say, we'll give them the money. So they run out. They want to get out of there because they don't want to get shot off.
They broke the fourth wall.
Yeah, Cusack looked in the camera, talked.
They both did.
So here comes the swanky modes. They come in. They're like pocketing the money as they walk out. So obviously, they go to give the briefcase back. And here we go. Yeah, Secret Service guy looks in it, sees the briefcase of money.
That's not what they want.
Yeah, they want something else. They end up giving the briefcase of money back to the swanky modes.
Bye.
Swanky modes are like, okay, great. They run away. I love that shot of them two old guys running away. It's so funny. Talk about legit comedy hijinks. And now here they finally figure out, the two dummies kind of figure out what's going on, where the journalist comes clean about, what she was trying to do.
Oh, and here's the big news.
Yeah.
And they still don't know why, because they can't hear.
Yeah, they can't hear what's going on outside. But the girl who owns the loft, she comes out and yells at the Secret Service guy. She actually knows them.
And they recognize her.
Yeah, they recognize her. So that's why they stop all the shooting and shit.
And this guy at the taco truck.
Yeah, one of the agents at a taco truck dropping sodas and burritos and stuff.
So it turns out that she's the senator's daughter.
Yeah, the girl who owns the loft. Now, finally, the sleazy, no morals journalist, she got the tape that she wanted, whatever.
I can't. I wish we had subtitles.
Yeah, I wish we had subtitles to better explain the plot, but... Now, like, the Swanky Modes, they got booked to do a live concert airing all over the world for Menudo. And, like, there was a guy who stole a Menudo t-shirt and ran away. That was bizarre.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Here they, Cusack and Robbins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they tell Menudo there's a problem, you have to go. Now, Menudo's not really in the movie. They, like, literally never show him.
But they're in the car.
Yeah, they're in the car. But I just wanted to clear that up. But they tell them there's a problem, and they have to go back to the airport or something. And so they end up, like, driving all around and stuff. Now, really, the whole plan that they have is that instead of, broadcasting live on RVTV, a Menudo concert, they're actually going to pull switcheroo here, the Video Aces are, and they're going to...
This guy?
Yeah. Now, here's the guy who was at the heavy metal concert where everybody died. All of a sudden, he's at a Menudo concert.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I was like, why are they showing this guy?
Yeah, he is the guy from TV.
Okay.
But yeah, the Video Aces are going to do a switcheroo, and they're actually going to have the Swanky Modes come out and perform live and broadcast that, thus jump-starting, or I guess re-jump-starting Swanky Modes' career, having a big comeback,
And wasn't and maybe Menudo.
Yeah, so they changed the marquee outside. It says Swanky Modes Live and maybe Menudo.
So this thing that they were doing, it kind of seemed like, the impression I got was like, it's not something that like was normal back then, like for them to live broadcast a show or something. Like, was it kind of supposed to be like the closed circuit thing, or is this different?
I mean,
what they're trying to do.
It just was, yeah. I think it's just more special because it was. It's hard to describe because on network TV, they always had shit live for whatever. But I remember on cable, especially for like cable channels, were run super cheap back then. Yeah. Like it was a big deal whenever MTV had something live. Like it was like a super big deal for some reason.
It was a special event.
Yeah, so I think they're just kind of playing off that, you know.
So here's the car.
Yeah, the agents in the white car. Slapstick everywhere.
I liked how she was talking on the phone in Spanish because she's at a Menudo concert.
Yeah.
And here's the car again with the parents.
With the parents in it this time.
And they think it's the security car.
Yeah, because the security agents pulled up in the same car and beat up a security guy. So now the security guys are all there. They get their revenge by pulling Tim Robbins' dad out of the car and beating his ass.
She was really hitting that guy.
Yeah, the mom got him involved in a fight.
Uh-oh.
But, like, it's kind of serious, though, because the secret agents, like, they're actually shooting at this journalist lady who has the tape and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a guy selling Swanky Modes merchandise. And it's actually...
Wow.
I would really... Because I'm sure you could pick it up for cheap. You know, like, I lucked out and got this for, like, $5. But I really would recommend anybody to buy this DVD... Just because it's, like, so legit when you buy it, this old Anchor Bay thing. Because, like, it comes with, like... First of all, it comes with, like, a legit, like, 20-page booklet. Or not 20 pages, more like 12 pages booklet. It's got pictures of the movie. It's got a CD that actually looks like a record of the Swanky Mode song that they do in the concert.
He's singing his song.
Yeah, secret agent guy gets up to be the opening act, sing his lame song.
You said it has a what?
It has like a CD single. Like this is how legit like Anchor Bay did. Like see it, the Swanky Modes song, and it's made to look like a little old record.
And it's actually a song?
Yeah, it's a song they sing at this concert.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's got a cool book. So this is like a legit DVD set. Like I would really recommend just as a collector's item, anybody pick this up.
And the back of it's cool how it has them with the guys, like,
yeah,
taking the picture.
Well, what's funny is it literally took me until we watched it this time. I never realized the poster was the Swanky Mode's body with their heads. I just always thought it was just some random, their heads.
Yeah.
But yeah, this and then the slogan, "Let's get in trouble, baby." But this just seeing this cover is what made me pick this DVD up.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can kind of tell there's like 50 different plots in this movie. Now the journalist is running around as the Secret Service agents, literally blow the shit out of the.
Oh my god!
They're literally throwing hand grenades on the stage, blowing shit up,
and killing fans.
Yeah, literally 2 fans literally got their heads blown up in the front row. But there's like a million different like plot lines in this where it gets kind of sloppy or whatever. But just the madcap, way, like, here they are playing, whatever, switcheroo with the tape. All these guys. Finally, here comes Clue Gallagher strolling in as a villain. He's got his sex tape back or whatever. but just, I don't know, like, I really like this movie just because it's so unique. Like, you really can't compare it to anything else out there.
I thought it was funny how she went over to him.
Yeah. Like, all of a sudden, like, they were,
All of a sudden, she was a damsel in distress when she's been, like, this strong character the whole time.
Yeah.
Can't remember what they're talking about here.
Yeah, like, Clue Gallagher. It's kind of funny, too, because Tim Robbins and Cusack, they were never blackmailing this guy. They were, like, never involved in this, they never...
Yeah, they never knew about it.
Even though they had the tape the whole time, they never, like, knew about it. They never watched it or whatever.
They never knew what they had.
So Tim Robbins kind of tricks Clue Gallagher and tells him he's going to put it in the machine and erase it so nobody will ever see it.
I thought it was pretty... No, he said to see it to make sure it's the right tape.
Yeah, that's right, to make sure it's the right tape.
Because they have to play it.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty clever, too.
But meanwhile, because they're in a live broadcast studio, he actually starts... here we see satellite uplink and process. He actually ends up broadcasting it all over the world. Oh it's just all this weird... Here's some women writing him as, like, I don't know, weird shit. Weird sexual shit. He's getting peanut butter smeared all over his face. It's pretty gross.
Now everybody's seeing it.
Yeah, his wife sees it. He's getting spanked. Looks like he's getting spanked by Courtney Love, kind of.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lyle Zato and his buddies working out, watching it. White House. There was a great shitty Ronald Reagan voice impersonation there.
Oh my god!
Here, it's definitely not Clue Gallagher's ass, but somebody tied up with Christmas lights getting their ass spanked.
And he's telling him, "I just put this on for everybody to see."
For everybody to see. So now, yeah.
What? Too late. Can't do anything about it.
Yeah, hijinks. I mean, it's just it's classic, comedy.
You're done.
Climax of a movie.
Yeah. Ooh, now he's crying like a baby. Now he's crying,
yeah, after he's being a villain the whole time.
Oh my god.
But I mean, it actually is topical in terms of
Look at the security guard. He's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things that, like...
Yeah.
I saw it and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like...
I guess in a weird way, this kind of ties into current events with Stormy Daniels.
Exactly. That's exactly the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
He's crying he's totally crying like a baby. Oh my gosh, these guys.
Secret Service guys are crying. But yeah, here's where it gets revealed that that's actually Tim Robbins' girlfriend's dad. And everybody's shocked to find out. So this movie's like,
shockers galore.
Yeah.
Oops. I can't remember. I wish they need to put subtitles on this.
I know, it's really hard when you do this because you want to remember the lines and exactly what happens in the plot line. But even though we just watched this last week or whatever, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, because, I mean, like I said, it was the first time I saw it, so I'm kind of like, I want to see it again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of viewing it, like, seeing it again.
And because there is, like, so many plot lines going on and stuff. Yeah. Like, it does really help to, see it multiple times. Now here we have the concert is, the limo pulled up. It was the old security. They're I don't know if he was a boss or a escort, but that guy who's the other security guard, he's the limo driver. Now we get like first person, like we think it's Menudo coming back, you know, to finally do their concert or whatever. But obviously the stage opens up and it's the swanky modes. They're gonna be live on TV, and they do their song "Ordinary Man," which you get as the CD single if you buy the DVD.
Look at these guys. So cool, man.
In their blue suits. Their perfectly coiffed hairdos.
It's another thing I miss now. Like, there's no stars anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, like, young people. Because, I mean, I know a lot of young people are real cool. So, like, I love boy bands and stuff. So, I think they're real cool and they do their thing. But I mean, like, older guys, too. Like,
yeah.
I want to see some old guys being cool, man.
Cool old guys.
Yeah.
But you know what's really funny is and I've talked about this with other people too, but there was like a thing in movies back then where there was like no shame in movies if you were older, like at all.
Yeah.
Like they did all the Star Trek movies when all those people were in their 50s and 60s and like nobody ever bitched about it. Like, you know,
there's definitely a serious problem of ageism in Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, back then, nobody really got their start in a lot of things until you're right there well into their 20s, where now you're expected to have a music career when you're fucking 15, you know?
Yeah. And then by the time you're 20, you're washed up.
Exactly.
Once you lose your cuteness, you're gone.
And this is just a great comedy wrap up here, you know, like we got the main plot over with, the guy's sex tape got leaked all over the air. Now it's just like a big musical number at the end.
Just for fun.
Yeah, the two main characters, Ivan and Josh. Look at these guys strutting their stuff on the stage, performing their song.
So cool.
It actually really is a good song, too. But, yeah, and obviously this is almost like a big celebration to cap off the night. Robbins and Cusack going nuts on the side of the stage watching the performance and everything. So yeah, like as weird and kind of like non-conventional as this movie is, in a lot of ways, it's just got a lot of great kind of classic comedy type scenes in it. Oh, power mullet.
Yeah, they're so funny.
Yeah, all the hand gestures and stuff.
Gonna blow the horn.
Yep, play the saxophone. Laser light
Eddie's
show.
dancing.
Yeah, and imagine seeing somebody now dance and play the horn like that. Play the saxophone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I can't help it, but not to continuously bring up current issues, but
yeah,
everybody's criticizing Bruno Mars now, and I'm just kind of like, it doesn't matter who's doing it, as long as they're exciting and fun and they make you forget about life for a second, it's like, just have fun and dance, like, who cares? Like, Bruno Mars is awesome, he's a great entertainer, just enjoy what he does, like,
there's not many, like, classic entertainers.
And like this kind of music, I mean, not necessarily this, but like I grew up on a lot of older style music because I had an older sister and I listened to what she listened to, and it's like that was just the kind of music I listened to. So like, if somebody's gonna start making music similar to that now, I'm gonna totally dig it because it's like it's what my ear is used to, and not so much because I'm like nostalgic or anything, but it's just those are the kinds of sounds I like because that's what I grew up with. Like. It's familiar to me.
Plus, it's different. Everybody. The goal now in music is for everybody literally to sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
All their synthesizer bullshit and all their robotic, tinged vocals or whatever.
Yeah, and like this is just like party music. It's just fun. Everybody having fun. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People having big personalities, being larger than life.
Look, even the security guards are up in it.
Yeah, the Secret Service guys. They actually like knocked a guy out backstage so they could sneak onto the stage and dance around. Yeah, just want to be on stage. Just want to be part of it.
But yeah, I like this. It's cool.
and it's like a culmination. There was a movie actually with that these two guys remind me of a lot. There was a movie with Bernie Mac and Samuel Jackson called Soul Men.
Oh yeah.
And it really reminds me of like they wore those type of suits and stuff.
Yeah.
And, things. It almost looked like Tim Robbins and Cusack did the two sweet hand gesture there.
That's funny.
Yeah. I like how all this stuff is like backstage is like Swanky Modes posters, laminates. Meanwhile, like they literally snuck them onto the. Yeah, here we have FBI agents. You know, they want to arrest the guys for indecency laws broadcasting, and obviously the big in joke is one of the guys is Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys.
Was that the one on the left?
Yeah, the younger guy.
I was gonna say that guy's eyebrows are real sculpted.
Yeah.
Here's some updated news on the guys.
The crawl in saying
they were acquitted.
They're acquitted of their charges.
Their parking tickets.
Yeah, but the parking tickets got them actual jail time.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was such a small detail.
Paying off a joke.
Yeah, like, how fun is that?
And then we close with the closing credits. Back to Roscoe and his chicken and waffles rap. The whole, like, even though we kind of saw the full version, this is kind of like a slightly different one. And, like,
well, I think that he's actually singing about the movie, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of singing about the movie, yeah. But, I mean, it just really...
JJ Hitman number 2.
Yeah, it's just really so many different people.
Wow, Agent Ava Hubbard. Jack Cheese.
Yeah, guy named Jack Cheese.
That's Bobcat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple different actors in here that were in the movie Repo Man. But yeah, another thing I was reading that was interesting about this was... I don't know what it was, but there was some type of song that Tim Robbins did for the soundtrack. And he did it under the fake name of Bob Roberts. And later on, the Bob Roberts thing became a thing. He actually made a movie called Bob Roberts, where he like redid the song. And the movie Bob Roberts is about like a country artist who like is conservative and like runs for office or something like that. Yeah. And he actually like redid the song that he made like around the Tapeheads era and changed the lyrics and stuff. But
that's funny.
Yeah.
He was making his waffles.
Yeah.
Every time I see this, it makes me want chicken.
Yeah, I mean, who can look at chicken and waffles and not want it? Really.
I don't know about the moving ones because those kind of look gross, but
yeah, the moving ones were like claymation or whatever.
Just constantly hearing about chicken and waffles makes me want chicken.
Yeah, he was scratching the waffle on the record player like hip hop style.
Oh, now he's rocking out.
Yeah, you really only got to see the Roscoe guy during his music performances, but he seemed like a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
If he was in the rest, like in other parts of the movie, he probably would have been funny.
They should have had him come out on that end scene playing guitar.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
Don Cornelius. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much it for Tapeheads. It's just really bizarre. I mean, I'm sure if you're just listening to this show just to hear about an old movie and you haven't seen it, you're probably like, what the fuck are they talking about the whole time? Like, it really is such a bizarre plot. And like I said, like, there's so many different directions, like... like it took me like the first time or two because this movie's just so jam packed. Like they're just jumping from scenario to scenario, and storylines always changing.
What's a honey wagon?
Honey wagon is like the
fetish.
It's a craft services thing. No, it's like I don't know if it's literally a wagon, but wherever they set up like the snacks and stuff. Like, not where you serve, like, the full, like, lunch meal, but, like, where the snacks throughout the day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is just such a bizarre movie, and anybody who's a fan of guys, like, John Cusack. Oh, there's even a Roscoe, like, chicken guy.
He's a rapper.
Yeah. Bet Your Bottom Dollar. That was another good one by the Swanky Modes. But, yeah, I just really recommend it for that. The cast that's in it, it's just... I still don't understand how this movie really got made, but I'm glad it did. It's back when these weird little movies could kind of exist. And, yeah, you don't get it anymore, and I miss stuff like this. And, this was actually one of the ones that I didn't catch back in the day. I caught much later, but probably had this DVD for a good 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched this movie at least 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
And I don't know, like it just every time I watched it, I liked it more and more, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to make of it when I first saw it. I was kind of like, what is going on here?
Yeah, the first time...
It's so strange.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I liked elements of it, but I wasn't...
Oh.
You know, and here, at the end there's telling you to go to a courtyard cafe and say...
Renee's Courtyard Cafe, which actually just closed at the beginning of the 2000s, I looked up.
Yeah, so it was around for a long time. But yeah, like I didn't know how to feel about it either when I first watched it because it's really kind of confusing and it kind of like you kind of just want it to stay in the comedy direction and then it goes off and all those weird like things with the senator. Like it probably, in all honesty, would have been a better movie if the senator blackmail tape shit wasn't such a big part of the story. But it still pays off in a good and wacky way, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the chemistry between the two guys really, you know, really works well. So, I mean, I would recommend Tapeheads. I'm sure, just like any old movie, I'm sure you can rent it online for like literally $3. So, if not, like this DVD was never worth shit for some reason. And it seems like back then Anchor Bay like made a lot of copies of shit. So, like, I know for a fact, because every now and then I'll look it up on eBay. I know you can still find this most of the time. So, yeah. So, Tapeheads is a pretty strong recommendation for me, especially if you're the type of person like I am, where you want to, you know, hunt down the more rare and obscure shit and see early movies from people and whatnot. So, what's your final thoughts on Tapeheads?
I think it's really cool for, like, I mean, as much of a tiny audience of people it might be, like, for people like you or, like, others who like to do, like, video editing and stuff, like, I feel like it's just right up your guys' alley kind of thing. Like, it's got, like, two guy friends, and they're going through zany adventures, but they're also kind of, like, trying to make have their own business with, like, the video stuff, and, like, so to me, that's what really stood out about it, was that it was such kind of, like, a specific situation that people like you would understand who've done, you know, video editing and stuff like that. So I thought it was cool for that. I liked it.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, what else can you say about Tapeheads? Not a lot of people seen it, so get in the cool club and see it.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody, again, thank you for listening to the show. You know, we're really trying to hit up these more obscure flicks because, I don't know, they usually actually do well, to be honest with you. So we'll see what more obscure stuff we can dig up in the movie graveyard, and we'll be seeing y'all soon.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.